Welcome to this week's marketing training here inside of Get Booked Out, where we are talking about one of my favorite topics in the whole world, Psychology Today. I love Psychology Today for therapists. I love seeing the results that you're able to get from it. And for $30 a month, you can have a steady stream of clients. Some clinicians, this is all they do aside from their website, and they're able to get fully booked. So something I'm really passionate about, something that I've studied and analyzed for about 2 years now, where I've looked at what works, I've looked at analytics, I've written profiles, I've optimized profiles, I've read hundreds of them, and I've really come down to these key 5 things we're going to talk about here that you need in order for your profile to really convert and get you the clients that you're looking for. So that's what we're talking about today. If this is your first time joining us, we've had a lot of new faces in the group. Hi there. My name's Anna Walker. I lead Get Booked Out and I'm in charge of this community, but you will see that I am certainly not the most valuable person here. There is so much wonderful talent and help here. I myself am a web and marketing strategist that supports private practitioners just like you, and I'm all about helping you get booked out in a way that isn't just effective, because we want you to make the living you deserve, but is also authentic to you and and is ultimately something that you're proud of. I want you to build a practice that you feel really good about and that ultimately you're proud of. And that's what we talk about here in the group. So these marketing trainings are about answering some of the important questions that are kind of popping up in the world of private practice, addressing questions that I'm discussing with my own clients and things like that. So if ever you have a topic idea, never hesitate to make a post or drop a comment in one of these videos to let me know if there's something you'd like to talk about. But like I said, today is about Psychology Today, and I really encourage you, as you're listening, whether you are catching the replay, drop a hashtag replay in the comments, or if you're joining live, let me know where you're joining from. But no matter what, as you're watching this, if you have specific questions about what I say, drop a question into the comments and I will answer it. I will answer it live if you're catching this live, and if you're revisiting this maybe this weekend or something like that, I'm happy to come back and write out an answer for you, because I want this to be super, super valuable for you. So the reason that I'm so passionate about Psychology Today is because it is some of what I call the lowest hanging fruit for clinicians from a marketing perspective. That means that for a very small amount of money, right? So for $30 a month, you can be getting in front of literally thousands of your ideal client per month for just 30 bucks. And so if you can do that well, and if you can make the most of those impressions, you can be bringing in clients for almost nothing. And the fact is that some clinicians are going to get a lot of clients through Psychology Day. Some aren't going to get quite as many. But the fact is that if your profile isn't working, if you're frustrated by the results that you're getting, that can be for a lot of reasons. But one of the number one reasons I often see when someone's like, I'm so frustrated that I'm not getting clients through Psychology Today, when I'm like, great, let me look at your profile, and I pop over there are improvements that need to be made there. So if you have been at it with Psychology Today and you're frustrated, drop a yes in the comments if you've ever been frustrated by kind of the lack of engagement you're getting on Psychology Today. But hear it from me that it's likely not that your area is too saturated or anything like that, but actually just may mean that you need to make a couple optimizations to your profile and start seeing results. I've seen that happen with people. I've literally had clients call me and say, hey, I got 4 new clients yesterday after I updated my profile. Okay, so these small tweaks are going to have really, really big impacts, and I've seen it happen time and time again. One thing that I really want to be clear on before we jump into the 5 things is the whole idea of the algorithm in Psychology Today. Sometimes I will speak with a client who is like, how do I appear higher in results on Psychology Today? Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Psychology Today isn't like Google. Google is, if you know SEO and you create great content, you can increase your rankings. On Psychology Today, they use a very secretive algorithm to rank clinicians, and in the past they've said that it's random, that you are 100% randomized, and that you're just as likely to show up on page 1 as you are on page 500. I think as we've sort of tested this and seen things, and certainly with the COVID pandemic and the addition of teletherapy, we've actually seen that there are some things going on behind the scenes. We'll talk about those a little bit, but that is one really important thing to know, is that overall you don't actually have control over your rankings other than making sure you have some of the key pieces in place. So with that in mind, let's jump into the 5 must-haves for a Psychology Today profile that gets clients. Number 1, the most critical thing, and this is the first thing I remind every person when I'm about to write a profile for them, you need to be writing to a single audience. Because the more focused you are on a single person in your profile, the more effective you'll be. The reason for that is you're going to stand out to that type of person as opposed to blending in with all the other clinicians that are trying to reach every other type of person. So if you can be laser focused on one specific ideal client type, you're going to see your results increase. The reason for that is because when someone lands on Psychology Today, they want to know immediately that there's someone out there that specializes in the problem that they're facing. That's going to be a theme between all of the 5 things we talk about here today. But if you are really, really focused and you can call that out and you can show them, hey, I'm focused just on working with someone like you, you're going to see maybe fewer profile clicks than someone that is looking for just anxiety. But if you mention women in anxiety, and if that's who you're writing to, you're going to get a heck of a lot more people actually converting, a heck of a lot more women with anxiety converting. So an example of that, right now I have a client who has 3 different ideal client types. So you know what we did? We wrote 3 different versions of her Psychology Today profile, because that means that she can switch it out. If she wants to increase her couples caseload, she can pop the couples one in there. If she wants to increase her individuals, then she can, drop that one in there. So it becomes really, really effective, because all of a sudden she isn't trying to use one profile to speak to individuals and couples, which is very hard because individuals and couples have very different needs. But instead, she can be laser focused on one, connect with those people, and then if she wants to, balance her caseload a little bit, she just copies and pastes the other version right in there. One thing I'm going to call out here is that there's kind of I won't say an old wives' tale because I actually think it's true, but a lot of people report that when they update their profile regularly, they find that they get more engagement. So again, that secret algorithm that we're talking about with Psychology Today, it very well may be impacted by how often you're updating your profile. So go in there and tweak a sentence, try a different way of saying things, or drop in an entirely different version focused on a different one of your ideal clients. That is likely, if the rumors are true, going to help you increase the amount of times that you're being seen by people. So that's a really, really important thing. So the first must-have is focusing on a single audience. If you have different types of specialties or niches, consider creating a single version, a single Psychology Today version for each group. The more focused I see people get, the better their results have been. Like, I've literally seen this work. I'm not just telling you something willy-nilly. I've actually tested this and seen it work. Number 2, a compelling hook. A compelling hook is so critical in your Psychology Today profile. Your hook is the first 1 to 2 sentences that's shown to someone when they see your listing in the directory, right? So when they search therapist in Nashville and maybe they click a certain specialty and your listing appears among the other 25 or whatever on page 1, what they can see is the hook. The hook is your most important real estate of your entire profile. Why? Because if you don't make a connection there, they won't click in and they'll keep looking for a therapist. So your hook has to immediately connect. Now, one key rule, like golden rule when it comes to your hook, is that it should not start with I. Do not talk about yourself in your hook. The entire first paragraph of your profile should actually be focused on your client. You can hear about my frameworks in some of my past trainings and in some of the tools I have. I could do a whole other training on that, but know that your hook should not start with I. Your hook should stop your client in their tracks. It should feel like you're talking directly to them, right? So use phrases that you often hear from them. If they say all the time, I am afraid of food, like sitting down to eat is scary to me. Hello, put that in your hook, because all of a sudden you're going to be joining the conversation that's happening in their head. The other thing you can do is to call out words that describe them. So if you work with college students, say something like as a college student. Or if you work with parents, say parents often experience. Something like that, where literally those words are like, yep, that's me. The hook is what helps them qualify themselves for you and decide if you're actually a therapist that specializes in the problem that they're experiencing. So that hook is so important. And this is another thing that you can be testing, right? That you can be switching out and keeping your profile fresh by trying different ways to catch people's attention and keeping track of what you get the best response on. So that compelling hook, super, super important. That's number 2. Number 3, a strategic video. When Psychology Today released the video feature as a result of the pandemic and the onset of teletherapy, it was one of the best improvements I think they have made in years. It is so important and it is so powerful for connecting with people, but I see so many clinicians not using it the right way. Now, just table stakes, you need a video to show up in results. Psychology Today actually notes that now in your profile. It says, if in order to show, I don't know exactly what the language is, but basically in order to show up in searches for teletherapy, you must have a video. With all of you doing teletherapy right now, if you don't have a video, you are hurting yourself. And so if you're not getting the results you need, go make sure that that's there, right? Go make sure that your profile is as complete as possible, and don't let the lack of video go on for another day. Do that this weekend. If you need a script, there's actually a Psychology Today profile script as one of the bonuses inside of my Fill Your Practice Formula course. But basically what you need to be doing in these 15 seconds, which isn't a lot of time, but can really connect with someone, is reinforce your niche and focus on connection, right? This isn't about introducing yourself and what you do or anything like that. This is about speaking directly to that person and then ending with a call to action. Tell them what to do next. It's very possible that they will have seen your hook, scanned your profile, watched your video, and think of what that experience is like. So they've realized that they think that you do what you need them to do, right? Or what they need you to do. And then they watch your video, they're reminded of your niche, they hear about how you help them, and they're told what to do next. That is what needs to happen in that video. So if right now your video is just an introduction about you and what you're passionate about and how long you've been doing it, you're likely losing out on clients, because there are people that are either going to read your entire profile or watch your video. So both need to accomplish the connection that's really, really important and that ultimately your clients are looking for. So number 3 on the must-haves is a strategic video. And you have to have a video. It should be strategic, but no matter what, you need a video. Otherwise, you're hurting whether or not you're showing up in results. So very, very important. All right, number 4. We're getting through these lists. Number 4 are your reinforcements. I call them your reinforcements. These are the additions that Psychology Today has recently made that is valuable real estate that you can be capitalizing on where other therapists aren't. So there's 2 of these. Number 1 is what's called in Psychology Today your COVID-19 statement. Whether or not they get rid of this after the COVID pandemic, I'm not sure. But it's that little yellow box right now that's above your profile. And that's another 140 characters to connect with people. So if you think about the experience again that someone has, they see your hook, they're compelled by it, they click in. This yellow box is the very first thing they see aside from your headshot before they get into your profile. This is a great place to reinforce your niche. Instead of using this as, I'm now offering teletherapy to keep, my clients safe, so is everyone. Use these 140 characters to say, I'm helping women in anxiety in Virginia overcome, I'm helping women in Virginia overcome anxiety. Reach out today for a free consultation. All of a sudden, if I don't read anything else, I still know what you do, and I'm still compelled to go ahead and take the next step with you. So use that COVID-19 statement, and don't just use it to say you're doing teletherapy, because so is everyone else. The other reinforcement you can use is your video caption. So when you upload a video, you're also offered another 140 characters, which is that portion that appears to the right of your video. And this is another place that you can reinforce who you help and how you help them. If you've been through the Fill Your Practice Formula, this is a great place to drop in your niche statement, but this should basically be, this is who I help and this is how I help them, right? It should complement what's happened in your video, where you've talked about what you do and what to do next, as well as in your profile. It should be kind of that cherry on top and that summary of the great work you do and the people that you serve. So if you right now don't have those populated, or they're just kind of were dropped in, the very first time you saw it become available, back in March or whatever, revisit those and make sure that you're using them to create connection. What you can see here across these 4 things is we are making use of every single piece of your profile, right? We are making sure that every place you have the opportunity to communicate yourself, you're doing it in a way that is client focused. So revisit log into Psychology Today today or this weekend, and make sure every field is as complete as possible. Every toggle is turned on for teletherapy and whatever that is, to make sure that everything that you can possibly do to optimize your profile is done, because that likely will impact the algorithm that is kept so secret, but that we get to see some sneak peeks too. So that's number 4, is your reinforcements. And then number 5, an inviting headshot. Hopefully this is something that you've already considered, but I see a lot of poor quality headshots on Psychology Today. There's huge power behind making a visual connection with someone, especially when it comes to therapy. And this is someone I'm going to be sitting across from either a screen or in the therapy room with. So make sure that you have strong eye contact, that you look welcoming. And the thing that I really see some clinicians stray from is that you want to use your headshot to set an expectation, right? So if you're more of a laid back casual therapist and you're going to show up in maybe jeans and a top instead of a suit jacket, don't take your headshot in a suit jacket, right? Use this as a way to reinforce what they're ultimately going to be experiencing with you, and just be natural, right? We want them to connect with you on your Psychology Today profile the same way that they will inside of sessions. So don't overthink this, but do make sure that you have a high quality, eye contact, welcoming headshot that's closely cropped, especially as many of these people are viewing it on mobile. So number 5 there, an inviting headshot. So, my friends, those are the 5 must-haves of a Psychology Today profile that I have seen translate into clients. One thing you'll notice I didn't talk about here was the actual content of the profile, because hopefully you know that matters. Again, I have some tools out there to help you with that, but the 5 things that you must have in your Psychology Today profile if you want to get clients is number 1, focus on a single audience, as targeted and as focused as possible. Number 2, a compelling hook that speaks directly to your ideal client and jumps off the page. Number 3, a strategic video. You've got to have that. Number 4, leveraging your reinforcements, the other places that Psychology Today allows you to communicate with your ideal client. And then number 5, an inviting headshot. Now, I want you to know that you can measure your results here, and this is something I encourage every single one of my clients to do. Psychology Today has a dashboard now. When you log in, they used to send you your analytics on a monthly basis, but you can see them real time at any time when you log in. So keep track of those things. There's a couple key metrics, and again, I have a video on this. If you'd like to see it, just drop a thumbs up in the comments and I'll tag you in it. But there's 3 metrics to keep an eye on: percent of profile views, percent of website clicks, and percent of direct outreach. So profile views will be the number of people that have viewed your profile versus the number of times you've shown up in results. And you want to shoot for 7% or above for that. Your website clicks is the number of clicks divided by the number of profile views, and you want to shoot for 9% or above on that. And then percent of direct outreach, that is email and phone outreach divided by views. I don't offer a benchmark there because usually it's pretty low. Most people are going to go ahead and visit your website, but still it's something to keep an eye on. And I know that a lot of spam comes through Psychology, so that one can be a little bit harder to measure, but keep an eye on these things. And if you're not seeing an increase, then that shows you that maybe we need to make some changes. And that training I've done in the past will kind of show you what that is. If you need help with any of this, the Fill Your Practice Formula is a wonderful resource. It walks you through my proven framework for what to say in your profile, how to write a niche statement, a script for your Psychology Today video, an analytics tool that allows you to plug in your data each month and get recommendations on what to update. There is an entire module, an entire section of that course dedicated to this tool because Psychology Today is so powerful for growing your practice. So, friends, those are the 5 must-haves. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you can't tell, this is something that I love to talk about. So, again, if you have questions, if you have comments, don't hesitate to drop them into the comments of this video, to make a post in the group. I am just ultimately cheering for you, and I want Psychology Today to offer returns on your investment. Yes, it's a small investment of $30 a month, but you should still be seeing results from that. And with these 5 must-haves, you can and you will, because I've seen it happen time and time again. So, thank you so much for being here. I will see you next time.